Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Noelle, aka MakeupEsquire, and today I'm going to be showing you how I came up with this orangey corally look that is perfect for summer. In these hot summer months, I'm reaching for more SPF and for more lightweight products that I can also use to multitask. For a base, I use this tinted SPF by Sisley. I also featured some of the face palettes I've been reaching for lately. At the end, I also featured these setting sprays that have SPF in them. I talk about which one I recommend and which one I don't recommend, so stay tuned for that. And on the eyes, I used a couple of Chanel single eyeshadows for this eyeshadow look. I did a pop of color on the lower lash line using this gorgeous coral eyeshadow, and I used a few other products that are tried and true and holy grails for the rest of the makeup look. So if you'd like to see how I achieved this look, please keep watching. For foundation, since it's been hot out lately, I've been loving using a tinted SPF. Chantecaille has a beautiful one, and lately I've also been reaching for this Sisley one. And this one is called the Tinted Sun Care Youth Protector. It's SPF 30, which is why I really like it. I have the shade 3 Amber, and I kind of took a chance and bought this shade on a whim because it was pretty difficult to tell if this was going to be my correct shade from looking at the swatches that I found online. It's a pretty pricey tinted moisturizer, but the finish is better than any other tinted moisturizer that I have found on the market. So I'll be using this today. It's also great for travel given the size. You get a good amount of product in here as well at 1.3 fluid ounces, where a typical foundation is only 1 fluid ounce. And a little bit truly does go a long way. I've also been liking this for just touching up throughout the day. I come home during my lunch break and take my dogs on a walk. And here in Southern California, it's been super sunny out. I'll wear sunglasses and then I'll get those indentations on my nose. And if I wear a hat, I'll have an indentation from my hat up here. And I'll take a little bit of this and just touch up in those areas just to make sure that my skin is still protected. I'm using this brush here for foundation that I recently picked up on Huda website. I will link it down below. I have an affiliate link with Huda, so thank you very much, Huda. You can go ahead and use my affiliate link if you want any of the brushes on her website, and it really helps out my channel, so I would really appreciate your support. This brush is made from Psycho goat hair and from fox hair. It's a mix, and both of these types of natural hair bristles are good to use with liquids, creams, and powders. I've really been enjoying testing this brush out with all different types of formulas. Highly recommend, and I just love the cute little design of the owl maquille on there. Let me know if any of you picked this brush up. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'd love to hear if you have any recommendations on how you've been using it. Also, I just put a self-tanner on, so please ignore any leftover self-tanner that I have on my hands. So I like to take this on a little spatula here. I just find that it helps spread the product out easier as opposed to just going straight in with a big brush like this into the cap. It also helps the foundation go a long way if you spread it out on the skin first, no matter what foundation you're using, really. And in these hotter summer months, the last thing I want to have on my face is just the feeling of heavy, cakey, piled up makeup. If you know, you know. So that's why I've been opting for just a lighter coverage base overall. I'm also always in a rush, it seems, when I'm doing my makeup in the morning before work. So I like how this foundation brush is a really good size, and it helps me just get that product on quickly and just move on to the next thing, just like so. You can tell how beautiful the coverage is already. With as little product as I put on, you can see that I used only 2 little pea size amounts throughout the whole face. And you can just see what a beautiful finish that leaves. Now for concealer lately, I've been reaching for different concealers, kind of a color corrector concealer hybrid. I've really been loving this Sisley color corrector one. It's quite pricey, but it's supposed to have a lot of good skincare ingredients in this, so I do highly recommend this if you can find it on sale. Another one I've also been loving is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate concealer. I got excited about this concealer all over again recently because I was shopping at the outlets near me, and they have a cosmetics company company store outlet there, and I stepped in and I was perusing around and I happened to come across a bunch of these concealers in the Tom Ford section. So I was pleasantly surprised and had to pick up another one of these. So now I have it in a few different shades, but it does leave a really beautiful finish. It's nice and moisturizing, so it's also good if you have dry skin and it's not too drying on the face. I've been experimenting with this Chikuhodo T6 from the Takumi series for concealer. It's a perfect size, and this shape can be used for so many different things. Concealer, or setting your concealer with powder, or you could even use it for either cream contour, powder contour. In a pinch, you could even use this brush for blush, cream blush, even powder blush. You could even use it for highlighter. So it's a perfect brush to use for travel because it's so dynamic. Depending on the shape of your eyes, you can also use it to set your concealer on your eyelids so that you don't get creasing on your eyelids. And if you have enough lid space, you can even use it as a one and done eyeshadow brush. Highly recommend this one. It's also a perfect shape if you want to set your T-zone with powder throughout the day. The handle is made of bamboo, so I do believe that that is what Takumi means in Japanese. So it's lightweight, but that also makes it perfect for travel. When I'm doing my makeup in a rush, I love using the same brush for all sorts of different things instead of having to grab a different brush for each step. So this one's a perfect one to have around just so you can wipe off real quick on a towel and move on to the next step. I have oily skin, so I always love to experiment with different setting powders. You all know, if you have been watching my videos, that I love the Huda Beauty setting powder, but it is a little bit more thick than other types of setting powders. For instance, the Givenchy Prism Libre powder. I have this one in a few different shades. This one's the shade 2 Satin Blanc. So if you're looking for a nice loose setting powder that's also lightweight, and this one has the ability to blur the pores really nicely on your skin, I do recommend this one. And I've also recently tested out this Clé de Peau setting powder. Clé de Peau has so many beautiful products. I raved about their concealer in my last video. If you saw that, I will link that video up above me in the iCards if you'd like to watch. But this one is a beautiful setting powder to travel with, to keep in your purse. It is perfectly lightweight. You almost don't even feel it on your skin, and it helps blur the pores, and it's not ever cakey. So this one's a really elegant formula that I highly recommend as well. So today I'm just going to be using a little bit of this Givenchy setting powder. I'm just going to pour it into my little handy dandy IKEA bowl here. And I'm going to take this little slanted natural hair brush here, and I'm just going to dip into that powder into the bowl here and use it to set my under eyes. This Givenchy powder does have a slight scent to it, so just be aware of that if you're sensitive to scents. I don't really mind it too much though. Also in that Chikuhodo Takumi series that you can also pick up on the Fudebobo website, I have the Chikuhodo Takumi T1 here. This is an all goat hair as well, and it's just a big fluffy brush that I like to use for all over face setting. For cream products lately, I've been reaching for this Makeup Forever HD Skin Face Essentials palette, and it's perfect for travel and it's perfect for doing your makeup in a rush because it pretty much has everything you need in here if these colors work for your skin tone. I do believe that it comes in one other color story as well for deeper skin tones, but this is perfect because it really has everything you need to do your whole face with cream products. I'll be using this Eyeshadow brush that I also picked up from Fudebobo's website. It's so beautiful, but it's also super versatile given it's made of Psycho goat hair, which can be used for creams, liquid, and powders alike. It's also the perfect density because it's not too dense and it's also not too fluffy, so it works great to get enough product on your skin, but also it's good to blend out any powders or anything like that as well. So I'm just gonna go into this shade right here, and I'll use this as a cream bronzer, and I'll probably go back in and use a little bit of this cooler brown shade here to use as a cream contour. Going back into the cream contour shade using my Chikuhodo Takumi T6. I'm just taking that product down along the jawline area to help conceal any of that jowling that as I get older, I'm tending to see more and more of. Now, because I have my hair up, I'm a lot more conscious of how this might look on my side profiles. So I like to take a smaller contour brush as opposed to taking a brush like this because I don't want it to be super obvious, nor do I want to leave any streaks or stripes underneath my jawline. Now, I'm not doing the underpainting technique that has been going around lately. I sometimes think that that takes longer than doing it this way, but if you would like to see how I underpaint and if you'd like a video teaching you how to do that, I'd be more than happy to. So just leave me any comments down below if you're interested in that. But I just like to, just a nice natural cream contour, if you could tell, right underneath that cheekbone. And then for cream blush, I've been using this Chikuhodo Takumi T4. That's what the T stands for, by the way, is Takumi, since it's the Takumi series. All of these brushes here are part of the same series. I like this cheek brush because it's just the perfect shape for cheek products. I like to use this for both cheek products and for powder blush. So going back into this Makeup Forever palette, and because I'm planning on doing more of a corally look today, I'm gonna really just focus on going into these coral tones. I'm just kind of swirling my brush in there. Make sure it's all nice and evenly distributed on those bristles. This will ensure you get a nice, even application. This is such a versatile palette because it's good to use if you have dry skin, normal skin, oily skin, combination skin. The finish is not too dewy, it's not too matte, it's just the perfect in between. As you can see, even though I powdered already, these cream products are still playing well with the products underneath, even though I already powdered. It's not removing my foundation or my concealer underneath. That might also have to do with me powdering before this as well. Now for a powder face palette, lately I've been loving this new Chanel Le Beige one that just came out recently. This one is in the shade Medium Coral, and it is a limited edition product. So if you still find it available anywhere, I do recommend you pick this up before they are all sold out. I was torn between a few different ones that would have worked for my skin tone, but I ended up settling for this Medium Coral one. Going in with the Chikuhodo Takumi T2 now. This one's a more angled brush shape. It's nice and fluffy, but it also has that nice angle so it can perfectly hug your cheek. And I'm just gonna go into this bronzer right here. I'm just pinching the brush like this ever so slightly just to make sure that I concentrate just on that middle bronzer shade. And I'm just gonna lightly set the perimeter of the face where I put that cream bronzer earlier. This will really help make sure that your products will stay put throughout the day, even if it's hot out. And it won't look cakey as long as you're going in with small amounts at a time and really make sure that everything is nice and blended into the skin together. For powder blush, I'm just gonna go back in with my Chikuhodo Takumi T4 and going back into that same Chanel palette and going into that beautiful coral blush shade here and just tapping that along the tops of the cheekbones like so. As you can see, it does have a good amount of pigment to it, but it's not so intense that you need to be so careful. It doesn't give you clown cheeks, if you know what I mean. For powder highlighter, some of my favorites are the Dior powder highlighters. These are the Dior Forever Couture Luminizers, and I have the shades 1 Nude Glow here and 4 Golden Glow. Nude Glow, Golden Glow. I think I pretty much now have these in almost every shade except one. They're just such a gorgeous, beautiful formula. I'm not sure I've mentioned them on my channel before, but I consider these some of my top favorite highlighters for sure. This along with the Tom Ford highlighters and the Hourglass highlighters, I would say, oh, and the Clé de Peau highlighters are among my absolute favorite powder highlighter formulas. They won't emphasize any pores or wrinkles. They're just so flattering. They're not shimmery. They don't have thick, chunky glitter particles that you see. So if you have any skin concerns such as aging skin, textured skin, or if you have concerns with crow's feet, these are the great highlighters to use because a little bit goes a long way, but they can also be built up really beautifully. I'm going to be going in with this Sonia G Fan M that I've been loving for highlighter lately. This is just a dyed goat hair brush, and I'm going to go into this shade 4 Golden Glow, taking a little bit on the brush like so. You see how beautifully that powder highlighter just catches the light in just the most elegant way? I'm telling you, go get you one. I'm just gonna take a little bit on this flat brush right here, take a tiny bit on the center of my nose, along the bridge of my nose, and a little bit on the brow bone. For my nose contour, I'm just going in with my tried and true Natasha Denona contour powder. This one's in the shade medium. I've showed it on my channel a million times. I'll probably just fast forward through this part. I also like taking this contour powder and just contouring my lips just a little bit, just above the cupid's bow and right underneath that bottom lip. This helps kind of give an optical illusion that there's a little bit of a shadowing up above and down below. It'll look a lot more natural once I finish my lips. I love experimenting with different lip liners, but a couple of my tried and true formulas are MAC's lip liners and the Sisley lip liners. I really love the shade Chocolate in the Sisley lip liner, and an OG is MAC's Stone. I love how MAC's Stone is a perfect cool tone. It's great to help contour your lips and give the illusion that you have more puffy lips if you take it along the contours like so. And Chocolate is perfect because I just love how the Sisley lip liner formula is just very creamy. It glides on the lips so easily. However, once it dries down, it really stays put throughout the day. I also like how both of these lip liners are more on the matte side and the finish is not shiny, because I really just don't like when my lip liners have a shine to them. It's more of a dead giveaway that you have lip liner on as opposed to more of a natural shadowing. And I just slightly overline the cupid's bow and I follow the vermilion border everywhere else. I like taking a lip brush, making sure that that's all nice and blended out. And if needed, I recommend you just take a flat paddle brush like this. This is the Kolinsky paddle brush. This is the KQ12S by Tansedo. I've probably used it in every single one of my videos. It's a tried and true brush. You can also get it on the Fude Bobo website. And I just take whatever products I was using before, whether that was my concealer, or in this case, I'm just going back in and dipping into this Sisley tinted moisturizer that I used earlier, just to help clean up the lines. For lipstick lately, I've been loving this Lawless lipstick. This is a random one I picked up during the last Sephora sale, and this is in the shade Platinum. And this formula is made in Italy, which explains why I was pleasantly surprised with the formula. I don't hear very many people talk about this lipstick, but if you're not familiar with this Lawless brand, their lip products are focused on helping give the illusion of more plump lips, but none of their formulas that I've tried have that obvious tingling sensation. It just somehow is able to blur the lines on your lips. It's especially helpful if, like me, you don't have any lip filler, so it gives the illusion that your lips are bigger. And I got this in the shade Platinum on purpose just because I wanted a stark white color, but also a neutral shade that would go together with any other color that I'm using. Oftentimes I have a lipstick that I want to lighten up ever so slightly just in the center of the lips to just give more of the illusion that my lips are nice and plump. And then this shade is really easy to just throw in your purse, and it really will work with any other lip liner that you have, and you can just kind of blend them into each other. And I just go back in with my lip liners and alternate to just add any shading that I might feel is necessary. And for eyeliner, when I'm really in a rush, I usually just leave my eyes totally blank, but I've been loving these brown eyeliners lately. It's just a little bit more subtle for the summer months to keep it nice and fresh. And my two favorite formulas that I love in eyeliners are the Makeup by Mario one and the Victoria Beckham eyeliner. The Makeup by Mario one, I love that it has a little brush on the end of it to help blend out your eyeliner. And the Victoria Beckham one has this little sponge tip applicator to help you do the same, but I don't find myself using this one as much. The Makeup by Mario one here is in the shade The Perfect Brown. I did recently hear that when Mario decides to name his products The Perfect blank, he said it was because that was his perfect shade in that tone. So I'm just gonna take the Makeup by Mario eyeliner to help tightline, mostly just the inner corner on the top waterline, a little bit on the outer corner as well. I do have Lashify eyelashes on. They're just little eyelash clusters that I stick underneath my real eyelashes. So I do find that this helps give the appearance that they're my natural eyelashes. And I did do a video on how I apply these Lashify eyelash clusters. I will link that up above in the iCards for you if you're interested. If I do use an eyeshadow on any given day, lately I've just been reaching for a one and done eyeshadow. I love these single eyeshadows that I recently picked up from Chanel, and I have more of these, but I just brought out 3 today. I brought out the shade 240 Brun Fauve. I took out the little brushes in them, and then these are the 2 limited edition shades that they came out with recently. This purple one is in 232 Lawless Poudre, and this orangey coral one is in the shade 228 Rose Charnel. In my last video, I also used the single eyeshadow in the shade Brune Talpa. So if you're interested in seeing that single eyeshadow on my eyes, that's also in the previous video that I filmed that I just linked up in the iCards. But I wanted to go in and use this coral shade today. I also filmed a video where I showed how you can do a pop of color. I used the color blue on the inner part of my eyes, but I wanted to show you a different technique that you can also use if you want a subtle pop of color for any given day. And you're gonna just want to have handy a flat paddle brush like so. You can grab all 3 of these on the Fude Bobo website as well, that you can use my affiliate link that I'll link in the description down below for 10% off your purchase. All of these are great brushes for this step. I love this brush shape because it's perfect for laying down eyeshadow, whether that's a matte eyeshadow or a shimmery or glittery eyeshadow. But I also like it because it has this sharper edge to it that allows you to do more detail work, such as along the lash line or to kind of wing out your eyeshadow or your eyeliner. And for this step, I'm going to be using this brush to take this coral shade down along my lower lash line area. And I hope you can see that it just gives the prettiest natural wash of a corally shade. To make this pop a little bit more, you can go in with the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liner. This one is in the shade Cinnamon, but she has all different shades that are all lovely. And you can take this and take it along your lower lash line. This is like a nice milk chocolatey brown tone, but it has like a nice sparkle to it. It's quite unique. I haven't found any other eyeliner quite like it. It also really stays put throughout the day, so it's perfect to put in your waterline. You're also easily able to blend out this eyeliner before it really sets if you want a kind of a more smudgy look. But if you want this to pop even more, another trick that you can do is to take your same cream blush that you used. Since we have this corally cream blush here that we used earlier on the cheeks, I'm just going to take a little bit on this flat brush. This is the BL30-4 brush, and you can kind of use this as a base for the eyeshadow if you want it to really pop more. So I'm doing this on the other side of my eyes so you can see the difference. Now I'm going back into the powder. I'm just going to pack it on top of that cream coral blush. You see how that gave just a little bit more drama? So it just really depends on how intense or how subtle you want the final outcome to be. But you could also do this on your top eyelid if you'd like as well. You can tell there's a slight difference between the two. This technique will also work if you have like a eyeshadow crayon in a corally shade as well to put underneath, or a cream eyeshadow in a pot formula that you want to stick as a base underneath this powder shadow as well. But I kind of just like how it looks subtle. It's almost like you can't really detect it unless you're more up close. Now for the final step, I'm just going to go in with this Huda Beauty One Coat Wow mascara. I'm trying this out for the first time. I just recently picked up a sample from Sephora when I purchased a couple of other products. So let's see how this goes. I'm just going to put some on my lower lash line here. This mascara is marketed as One Coat Wow because it's supposed to be intense enough to where you only need one coat as opposed to multiple coats and still get that dramatic effect. Even though I have Lashify on, I still like to put a little bit of mascara on my bottom eyelashes and also on the outer and inner corner of my top eyelashes, just to make sure that any of my real eyelashes really blend into those fake ones. Now, on any given day, I would totally just leave the eye look just like this. I think that this is really pretty and natural, but it's still a pop of color. But just for the heck of it, and because I have it out, I'm gonna go in real quick with this shade 240 Brun Fauve. And I'm just gonna take this big fluffy brush here. It's a natural hair brush. It's a squirrel hair brush. And I'm just gonna barely tap into this eyeshadow because it's quite pigmented. So I just barely tapped in twice, making sure I don't have any creases on my eyelids. And I'm just gonna kind of pat this shade along my crease area. Even barely tapping in, you can see how much pigment that eyeshadow really puts down. It also might have to do with the fact that these natural hair bristles are really good at grabbing on to that product and really laying it down. But as you can see, this eyeshadow is blending out really nicely. It's not leaving any patches, nor is it skipping. You can tell this eyeshadow is a very elegant formula. That's what really sets Chanel eyeshadows apart from other eyeshadows on the market. See how in the pan this eyeshadow seemed like it could be kind of scary and intense, but if you just use a light wash, just like so, look at how gorgeous that is. If you have brown eyes or hazel eyes or green eyes, this eyeshadow would look absolutely stunning on you. Just for the heck of it, let's just throw a little bit of this coral shade just kind of on the outer area here to help blend out that reddish shade and to kind of make sure that everything on the face is nice and cohesive. Usually when my hair is down, because I hate when my hair gets stuck in my lip gloss, I'll just rock a matte look most of the time. But if my hair is up, I will take advantage of being able to pop a lip gloss on. I brought out a couple here that I've been really enjoying lately. I've used the Chantecaille lip gloss on my channel before. You know I'm absolutely in love with this formula. Highly recommend any of the shades. But to switch things up, and also because it's going along with the same Lawless theme that we have going on the lips, I brought out this Lawless Forget the Filler lip gloss. I would say this lip gloss is really a standout product for Lawless. This is really, I think, what this brand is known for. This is a really nice lip gloss formula. It makes your lips look nice and plump without having that burning sensation if you're not a fan of that. This is in the shade Cherry Vanilla. It is a thicker formula, but it doesn't really feel too sticky on the lips. I don't mind a thicker formula in my lip glosses. I actually prefer it because I do find that that type of formula is what makes a lip gloss last longer throughout the day. I'm just gonna use my finger to make sure that it's nice and pressed into the lips and to take off any of the excess product. I'm just gonna go in with this Benefit Precisely My Brow Wax as a fiber eyebrow gel. This is a nice fiber eyebrow gel. I've also been enjoying this lately as kind of a one and done eyebrow product. It helps the eyebrow hair stay put, but it also gives the illusion of thicker, fuller eyebrows and helps fill in any of those gaps. And it also helps get rid of any powder residue that you might have after having powdered your face. Now, I don't always use setting powder, but one I've been reaching for lately in these hot summer months is this one by Coola. Coola has two setting powders with SPF, and I recently picked up both of these to experiment with them. This one right here is marketed as a makeup setting spray. It's a sunscreen spray with SPF 30 featuring peony leaf, juniper berry, and phoenix leaf stem cells. I don't love the spray nozzle on this one. I do find that it tends to leave kind of bigger chunks or clumps of setting spray than is ideal. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. So this one is not marketed as a makeup setting spray. It's just called the Classic Face Mist Sunscreen Non-Greasy Lightweight Hydration Plus Plant Protection. This one has a broad spectrum SPF of 50, so it's a higher SPF than the other one. And I also prefer the spray nozzle on this one. So this one's a good SPF in spray form if you're looking for something to touch up with SPF wise throughout the day, but that also won't ruin your makeup that you have underneath. And as you could see, it just dried immediately. It's almost as if you didn't even spray it on in the first place, which is something I really enjoy about this. And it's a very fine mist as well. So in all honesty, between these two, I would recommend this one. By the way, if you're new here, my name's Noelle, aka MakeupEsquire. I am a lawyer and lover of all things beauty. I'm obsessed with makeup, food day, and all things lifestyle. And that's the look, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video and if you learned something, please go ahead and give it a like. Subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you'd like to see me film next. And don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you know every time I post a new video. Love you.